Geno.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thanks.
I want you to meet Andy Dousis.
Hi, Andy.
Nice to meet you, Geno.
Good to meet you, too.
And George Kelly couldn't stand to see you and not say hi.
What a man.
Now-
I love this guy.
Now the vehicle that you took me out on was a little.
Yeah.
This isn't the same vehicle. No.
This is a new one.
This is, you getting the luxury
All right.
edition.
Good.
He's a great man here. He's doing wonderful things here.
Thanks, George.
Thank you.
Geno, what time will you bring him back?
About 20 minutes.
Okay, great.
Sounds good.
All right, Andy, have fun.
We will.
All
You'll
right,
have
I'll see you
fun,
when you get
Andy.
back.
All right.
I was intimidated when I got in. But I had a great time.
Yeah, we love him, man. George is the best.
All right, we'll see you later.
See you later,
Geno.
thanks.
Bye, Andy.
Bye-bye.
So how you doing?
Great. And yourself?
Good. Bertha, stop. So yeah, this is it, huh?
This is it,
Do you
man.
do a
It's
lot
good
of
place to
media
be.
action, a lot of TV?
I've done a bunch.
Have
Yeah,
you?
yeah. I spent a number of years as a football coach, and through that, you know, different interviews
No
and
way.
things like that. Yeah.
So you started out as a football coach? Is
I
that
did.
kind of right?
I did. I started out as a freshman football coach volunteer. I was 24 years old,
Yeah.
and ended up moving up to the varsity squad at a school and spent 10 years coaching there, and then became a head coach in my hometown, where I was an elementary school teacher.
Oh my gosh.
And spent 9 years coaching there. So, yeah, we had quite a run. We had a great staff, a bunch of kids that wanted to work hard, and ended up playing the state championship 3 years in a row.
Why don't you tell people what you do? Why you're here at the elementary school?
Well, I'm a coach. You know, I'm
Okay.
a coach at heart. So what
All right.
what I do is I work for the Northeast Foundation for Children, and we share what's called the responsible classroom with different school systems around the country. I can be found working anywhere from San Diego to Maine, New Orleans to Detroit, and all places in between. People seek us out because they have a need. Typically, we spend our time working in three areas. Well, one area, probably the area we're most known for, is that of classroom management. You know, how does a teacher manage a group of 20 children, and keep them all in line and taking care of themselves and each other and all the things that they have to work with? The other area is that of community, which is vital to any sort of organization, but certainly a learning organization. How do we build community where everybody feels safe to take risks, to learn, where meaningful sharing can take place, and folks can learn from one another.
Okay.
And the third area is that of varying instruction. We try to get teachers to understand that not all children learn the same way, that we must differentiate not only on ability level, but also on strengths and interest. So I like to give the analogy that if my goal is to teach you how to make a graph, doesn't matter if the content is, you know, the Boston Red Sox versus the New York Yankees over the last 10 years, how many runs were scored in each year for each team, or if we're doing it on the amount of quahogs that are taken out of the bay for the last 10 years. And if the child's interested in quahogs, they'll probably graph a lot. If the child is interested in baseball, they'll probably graph a lot. So,
I get you, so.
you know, being smart about how to best get kids to learn.
And why were you invited here?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Our foundation came out here about 4.5 years ago, I would say now, and we trained a group of 20.
And when you say train, are you training teachers?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
Specifically teachers.
Specifically teachers.
Now, why would, and it's teachers that might need enhancement on how to deal with behavioral problems?
Behavior problems, certainly.
Is that a big part of it?
Huge. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How do we prevent them from happening in the first place? And then when they do, how do we safely teach a child how to better take care of herself or himself? And how do we as adults to respond to misbehavior in a way that sets a good model?
So how do you do that?
Well, it's a long,
All right, but
it's
just a
long
little
story.
bit. If you can,
Yeah.
if you condense it, so that you know, parents that are watching
Yes.
out there that are
Yes.
seeing this,
Yeah.
how would they understand? How could they understand?
I think most folks, I'm 46 years old, if most folks are my age, they probably grew up in a time when, you know, punishment was the model, that if you misbehaved, if you got out of line, you got punished in school, and then when you got home, you got punished again.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
While some view that as an effective approach, there's fallout to punishment, and anger is one of them, and it's hard for people to learn when they're angry. Fear is another. It's hard for people to take risks when they feel afraid to step out of line. And then just there's a lot more fallout to punishment too. So we veer away from a punishment model, and we deal with what's called logical consequences. And what we mean by that is, whatever the misbehavior the child does needs to be stopped, first of all. That's the first goal. And secondly, we got to figure out what is it this child's capable of learning that could prevent this from happening again, and how do we go about teaching it to him?
So are you saying that it's the other way is wrong? The
Yeah,
old way is kind of wrong? Does it not work? Is that what you're saying?
Well, the old way is effective to a point.
Yeah.
But like I said, there's fallout to the old way.
And what would that be?
Fear, anger.
Just fear. Okay.
Fear,
okay.
Yeah, those kinds of things.
Right.
And they don't serve communities well. I mean, if you just look at our country in general, we keep building prison after prison. So it's pretty good evidence that punishment doesn't seem to be working. In my experience with children, that when they make a mistake, and typically that's what it is, it's a mistake in behavior. Children are researchers. They're often trying to discover where the line is and what happens if I cross it. And,
Right.
and it's our responsibility as an adult community to stand these kids back up with a strategy or a tool that they can apply to avoid that misbehavior. Often, misbehavior is an opportunity for learning. That's what we see, and we see it as a chance to perhaps uncover more about that particular child, or even the environment. Sometimes it's the environment that we create that leads to certain misbehaviors.